Guys, this is a quick review of my Honda CB700SC NIGHTHAWK. It's a beautiful bike and there's no review whatsoever on the internet to praise this bike, so I'm giving you a very quick review of it. So the engine is 700, as you know, hydraulic valves that don't need adjustment, shaft drive, so no adjustment for the chains, beautiful darkened chrome exhaust that give this a beautiful bubbling note. And the engine, although it's 700, it's really, the bore is the same as the 750. They just reduced the engine size a tiny bit in order not to pay taxes, import taxes back way then. This is a 94 one. Now it's carbureted, so you guys, you have to start it off with a choke, and then as you start riding, you slowly push it back when it's warm. So it's kind of a, it feels nice because it's a relationship with the bike. Two front disc brakes. They work like a beauty. I mean, they really stop the bike, but it's not very progressive, so one has to be very careful when you're braking at slow speeds. Back brake is drums. All the shocks are adjustable, and one of the great things about this bike that I love is that it has the fuel gauge and the gear position. So you always know if you're in fourth, fifth, overdrive, and so it has six gears. Now, as for the power delivery, the bike, when it's at 1,500 RPM and you're starting to go on a traffic light, it has no grunt, no torque whatsoever. It starts getting some torque at 2,000, but the engine starts showing itself at 3,000. So you have to rev it a little bit to start the bike on a green light. Once it gets going after 3,000, the bike really pulls. After 5,000, between 5,000 and 9,000 RPM, you have to hold on to the handlebars because this bike really goes. I love the bike, and for city driving, this bike is fantastic because it's very nimble, very maneuverable, very light to drive. I feel like I'm driving a 300cc bike when I'm on it. The downside is that on highways, it's a little not too planted on the tarmac, compared to, and also the wind protection is minimal, as you probably know, but we can do without that. The thing that it bothers me a little bit is that it's not really planted. It's a trade-off because it's really light. Now, as for the style, you guys be the judge. This to me looks like the bike that Batman would have if he wanted a bike in 1984. That's it, my short review of the Honda NIGHTHAWK CB700S.